So today we're going to address cramping, especially this time of the year where it's very hot outside. Cramping tends to be a big issue. Now, sometimes that's during workouts or while you're outside working. Sometimes it's while you're asleep. So there are a few different things that can cause cramping. Now, the most common thing that you talk about is potassium. So you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, well, I'm cramping, so I need to go eat a banana to get my potassium in." But the reality is actually really a small number of people cramp because of potassium. Potassium is primarily located in the nerve in your body. Your body does a very good job of regulating potassium compared to other electrolytes. And more often enough, really the problem is a deficiency in either salt or magnesium. Now you can get cramping from dehydration as well. But typically, if you're getting cramping from dehydration, you also have an electrolyte deficiency. So I would suggest that if you're suspecting that you're dehydrated, that you're probably also low in electrolytes, so you need to make sure you rectify all that at one time. Now, another thing that you get when it's hot, you're outside sweating a lot. Most people tend to just drink pure water, and that's great that they're drinking water. However, if you're not doing something to get your electrolytes in, large volumes of water intake when you're sweating a lot can actually dilute your electrolytes in your system and actually make the cramping worse. If you're one of those people who's prone to cramping, the first thing to try is just take one of your old sweaty shirts while it's wet, hang it up, and let it dry, and see if you get this sort of white, chalky film on it. And if so, you're an electrolyte excreter. And I've seen people who actually, it's so bad that they get it on their face. As soon as the sweat dries, you get this kind of chalky look on their face. So for those people, increase in sodium intake, and I know a lot of people are afraid of salt, and you can look at some of my other blog posts on sodium. For the average person, it's relatively safe, and actually it's much worse to have low sodium than it is to have slightly high sodium. Now, the type of sodium that you're intaking is important. You see, I've got some other blog posts on that. Really using like a Celtic sea salt or Celtic sea salt, however you'd like to say it. Some kind of moderately inexpensive colored sea salt. It has to be colored, gray, pink, whatever color. In your water or in an electrolyte mix, something like that is a great way. Cooking with it is a great way to try to get your sodium levels up. If you're drinking plenty of water, your body will regulate your sodium levels pretty well, so you don't have to worry about them being too high. So that becomes a moot point. Now, most of the time, cramping during exercise, probably sodium, maybe magnesium. Most of the time, nighttime cramping, probably magnesium, maybe sodium. So those are the first few things you're going to look at. So if you're having a magnesium deficiency, a magnesium orotate is a great way to, because you can use a large dose of that orally, a gram to 2 grams a day, spread out over the course of the day, is a great way to get your magnesium levels up. Another good thing is just a magnesium soak, just doing an Epsom salt bath. A couple of cups of Epsom salt is several thousand grams of magnesium. That's way more than you could then take orally, and your body will absorb it through the skin, especially in hot water. The pores open up and they want to suck that magnesium in. You can go for a swim in the ocean and get the same effect, especially during the warmer months of the year. So a couple of tricks to try to get your electrolytes evened out and reduce cramping. What about Gatorade, Powerade? Those have electrolytes in them, right? Yeah, but they're not great sources, and they're full of sugar. So unless you're doing a workout that's over an hour long, it's really more sugar than you need for workout recovery. So my suggestion would be to buy an electrolyte mix, like Electrolyte Synergy from Designs for Health, and if you need a little more sodium, just put like a quarter of a teaspoon of sodium in the water with the electrolyte mix, and that'll at least give you enough flavor there to mask some of the sodium. So try those things out. Hope it helps a lot with your cramping. I'm sure it will. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the next post.